Somewhere in the immense blue expanse of the Pacific Ocean, there lies an island so small it barely registers on most world maps. This is Nauru. It's an isolated oval of rock and coral, adrift in the water, about 2,500 miles northeast of Australia. You could drive around its entire coastline in less than 30 minutes. With a population hovering around 12,000 people, it is the third smallest country on Earth, larger only than Vatican City and Monaco. Its size is just the beginning of what makes this place utterly unique, a nation of startling contradictions. It's a place that has seen dizzying wealth and profound hardship, often at the same time. Nauru holds a collection of world records, not the kind most countries would boast about. It is officially the world's least visited country. Only a few hundred travelers find their way here each year. At the same time, it carries the heavy burden of being the most obese nation on the planet. These two facts are not unrelated. They are threads in a complex story about isolation, a history of fleeting fortune, and deep lasting consequences of decisions made generations ago. Understanding Nauru means looking past the statistics and seeing the human faces behind them. The island itself is a geological curiosity, a raised coral atoll, a limestone platform pushed up from the ocean floor over millennia. Nauru's story is impossible to tell without talking about phosphate. At the turn of the 20th century, a prospector named Albert Ellis made a discovery that would seal the island's fate. He realized that what was thought to be petrified wood was, in fact, incredibly high-grade phosphate rock. This was the result of thousands of years of bird droppings, known as guano, reacting with the island's limestone base. In an era of booming global agriculture, this white gold was a fertilizer jackpot, and the world's colonial powers took notice. Germany, which had annexed the island in 1888, quickly began mining operations. After World War I, control of Nauru passed to a joint trusteeship: Australia, New Zealand, and United Kingdom. For the next 5 decades, these nations oversaw a massive industrial-scale extraction of the island's core. The phosphate was scraped away, loaded onto cantilevered ships, and sent to fertilize fields across the world. While the mining brought some jobs and royalties to the Nauruan people, the vast majority of the profits flowed overseas. Nauru finally gained its independence in 1968, a moment of immense national pride. The new republic took control of the phosphate industry. And for a brief heady period, Nauru became one of the wealthiest nations on Earth on a per capita basis. The government created a welfare state with no taxes, citizens received free education, free healthcare, and generous handouts. Nauru invested in its own airline, a fleet of ships, and international real estate, including landmark properties in Australia and the United States. By the late 1990s, the dream was collapsing. The trust funds were depleted, the airline sold off its planes, and the overseas properties were repossessed to pay off staggering debts. To understand the price of Nauru's former wealth, you only need to look inland from the coast. What was once a gentle forested plateau is now a haunting jagged moonscape. This area, known as Topside, covers about 80% of the island. It is a desolate wasteland of limestone pinnacles, some as tall as 50 feet, left behind after the phosphate-rich soil was scraped away from between them. It is a stark and silent monument to the extraction that funded the nation's brief golden age. The land is unusable for agriculture, construction, or almost any other purpose. It is a wound that may never fully heal. The environmental devastation extends beyond the visual scars. The removal of the topsoil and vegetation has had a profound impact on the island's ecosystem. The natural ability of the land to absorb rainwater is gone. This leads to severe water shortages. As there are no rivers or natural freshwater sources on the island, Nauru is almost entirely dependent on a single aging desalination plant and the collection of rainwater in household tanks. During periods of drought, which are becoming more frequent with climate change, the water situation can become critical, a constant source of anxiety for every resident. This dramatic alteration of the landscape has forced the entire population to live on a narrow, fertile strip of land that rings the island. This coastal belt, in some places only a few hundred yards wide, is where all the homes, schools, government buildings, and shops are crammed together. Daily life in Nauru unfolds at a slow island pace dictated by the heat and the close-knit nature of the community. Most homes are simple, single-story structures often made of concrete blocks or prefabricated materials clustered along the coastal road. Families are large and multi-generational with relatives living in close proximity, creating strong support networks. You will often see people sitting outside on plastic chairs in the late afternoon chatting with neighbors, and watching the few cars and motorbikes go by. The sense of community is palpable. In a country this small, privacy is a rare commodity, and everyone's business is, to some extent, everyone else's. With the phosphate industry now a shadow of its former self, formal employment is scarce. The government is the largest employer, providing jobs in administration, utilities, and at the state-owned enterprises. Other jobs can be found in the handful of small, family-run shops, restaurants, and at the Australian-funded Regional Processing Centre for Asylum Seekers, which has been a controversial but significant source of revenue and employment for the island. For many, however, steady work is hard to come by, leading to high rates of unemployment and a reliance on government support and family connections. Education is compulsory and free for Nauruan children who attend one of several primary schools, or the single secondary school on the island. The curriculum is based on the Australian system, and many dream of pursuing higher education abroad, often in Australia or Fiji. However, opportunities can be limited. For many young Nauruans, the future can feel uncertain. As one young student told a visiting journalist, "We study hard, we want to be doctors or engineers, but where will we work? We love our home, but we worry if there are jobs for us here when we finish." Food is a central part of Nauruan culture. But the diet has changed dramatically from traditional times. With the land unable to support agriculture, nearly all food must be imported by sea or air. This means shelves are stocked with canned meats, white rice, instant noodles, sugary drinks, and processed snacks. Fresh fruits and vegetables are expensive and often unavailable. This reliance on cheap, low-nutrition, high-calorie processed foods has become the norm, a diet that is a direct contributor to the nation's severe health problems. The traditional diet of fresh fish, coconut, and root vegetables is now more of a special occasion than a daily reality. According to the World Health Organization, Nauru has the highest rate of obesity in the world. An estimated 71% of the population is considered obese. This is not just an issue of aesthetics, it's a public health emergency touching nearly every family on the island. The consequences place immense strain on the country's limited healthcare system and cut short the lives of its citizens. The primary driver is type 2 diabetes. Over 40% of adults are affected. The disease leads to devastating complications: heart disease, kidney failure, blindness. Public health campaigns encourage exercise and healthier eating. Signs along the main road urge people to walk for life. Residents walk or jog the 12-mile airport runway and the coastal loop at dawn and dusk. The title of world's least visited country is not an exaggeration for Nauru. The numbers are a stark testament to its isolation. Nauru receives only a few hundred tourists each year. Some estimates put the number as low as 200, others up to 1,000. That includes business travelers and officials. A single popular attraction in a major city can see that many visitors in an hour. In Nauru, a foreign arrival is an event. Locals notice. The journey to Nauru is the first major hurdle. The island is served by a single airline, Nauru Airlines, small fleet of Boeing 737s, often called our airline, a national pride. Route stops include Brisbane, Nadi, and Majuro. Flights are infrequent, once or twice a week at times. Tickets are notoriously expensive, pricier than transatlantic fares. Tourist infrastructure is minimal. Only 2 hotels remain: Menin Hotel, sprawling, government-owned, worn; Odianiwo Hotel, smaller, basic, no resorts, no traditional tour operators, no souvenir shops. Visitors are left to their own devices, which appeals to a few. You rent a car, you drive the loop, you talk to people, and you explore what the island has to offer on your own terms. This lack of visitors shapes the Nauruan psyche. There's no tourism culture like Fiji or Tahiti. Interactions are genuine, unscripted. Beyond the logistical challenges of expensive flights and infrequent schedules, there are deeper reasons for Nauru's status as a travel non-destination. The primary one is a simple lack of awareness. For most of the world, Nauru is a name they have either never heard, or one that is only vaguely familiar. The country has no tourism board and engages in virtually no international marketing. It is not trying to attract visitors. The island's reputation in the global media has also done little to encourage tourism. having been defined for 2 decades by its role in Australia's controversial offshore detention policy for asylum seekers. The association with the regional processing centers has cast a long shadow over Nauru's international image. News reports have often focused on the difficult conditions within the centers, painting a picture of the island as a grim, remote prison. While this is not an accurate reflection of life for Nauruan citizens, the negative press has undoubtedly deterred potential visitors who might be looking for a carefree Pacific Island getaway. The name Nauru became synonymous with a political controversy, obscuring the island's unique culture, history, and the warmth of its people from the outside world. Furthermore, Nauru does not offer the typical attractions that draw mass tourism to the Pacific. There are no pristine white sand beaches perfect for sunbathing, as the coastline is mostly rocky coral and sharp reef. There are no luxury resorts, infinity pools, or vibrant nightlife scenes. The main sites are historical and industrial: the rusted cantilevered cranes used for loading phosphate, the eerie moonscape of topside, and the remnants of Japanese fortifications from World War II. It is a destination for the curious historian, the intrepid explorer, or the traveler who collects countries, not for the average holidaymaker. Ultimately, the Nauruan government and its people have not prioritized the development of a tourism industry. Their focus has been on more immediate and pressing concerns: securing the economy, managing the health crisis, and ensuring basic services for the population. Building a tourism sector from scratch would require massive investment in infrastructure, training, and marketing, resources the country simply does not have. For now, Nauru remains a place that people visit by deliberate effort, not by accident. It is a country that you must actively seek out, and very few do. Despite the immense challenges they face, the people of Nauru possess a quiet resilience and a deep love for their island home. Their identity is fiercely Nauruan. When you speak to them, you hear stories not just of hardship but of family, faith, and community. An older fisherman mending his nets by the shore might tell you, "The sea is not as rich as it was in my father's time, but it still provides. This is our home. Where else would we go? My family is buried here." This profound connection to the island, to this specific piece of rock in the middle of the ocean, is a powerful force. The younger generation grapples with a different set of questions. They are connected to the outside world through the internet and social media, and they see the opportunities available elsewhere. Many dream of studying or working in Australia, of seeing the world beyond their 8-square-mile home, yet this ambition is often coupled with a strong sense of duty to return. A young woman working in a government office explained,
"I hope to get a degree in public health. I want to come back and help my people. We have so many problems with sickness, and I want to be part of the solution for my country."
There is a palpable sense of pride in their unique history, even the painful parts. They speak of the Phosphate days with a mix of nostalgia for the prosperity and an awareness of its costs. They are proud of their independence and their cultural heritage, which they work to preserve through language, traditional songs, and community events. The 12 tribes of Nauru are still a meaningful part of social identity. And the intricate system of family relationships forms the bedrock of society. This cultural strength provides a foundation of stability in an otherwise uncertain world. Life is not easy, and people are frank about the difficulties. A mother shopping at a local store might lament the high price of healthy food.
"I want my kids to eat vegetables, but a bag of frozen chicken is cheaper and feeds the whole family."
Yet, there is also laughter and a strong sense of humor. On weekends, the coastline comes alive with families fishing, swimming in the small boat harbors, and gathering for barbecues. The future for Nauru is perched on a knife's edge, balanced between daunting challenges and the enduring spirit of its people. The economic path forward is unclear. The phosphate is gone, and the revenue from the Australian processing centers is politically volatile and cannot be relied upon indefinitely. The nation is actively exploring new income streams, from selling fishing licenses for its vast marine territory, to more speculative ventures like deep-sea mining. But finding a sustainable economic model that can support its population remains the single greatest challenge for Nauru's leaders. At the same time, the island faces an existential threat from climate change. As a low-lying atoll, Nauru is extremely vulnerable to rising sea levels. Coastal erosion is already a visible problem, and a rising ocean threatens to inundate the narrow coastal strip where the entire population lives. The increasing frequency of droughts exacerbates the island's water crisis. For Nauru, climate change is not a distant abstract concept, it is a clear and present danger to its very existence as a nation, adding another layer of urgency to its already precarious situation. Yet, to focus only on the problems is to miss the heart of the Nauruan story. This is a nation that has survived colonization, survived exploitation, and survived a public health crisis. Its people have a proven capacity for resilience. The hope for Nauru lies within its community, in the strength of its families, the ambition of its youth, and the deep-seated love for a homeland that has been pushed to its limits. The solutions to Nauru's problems, if they are to be found, will come from this internal strength, combined with sustainable and respectful international partnership. Nauru's story serves as a powerful, concentrated lesson for the rest of the world. It is a cautionary tale about the perils of resource extraction, the double-edged sword of sudden wealth, and the long-term consequences of environmental devastation. But it is also a story of human endurance. The island may be the world's least visited country, a mysterious speck on the map, but it is also a home, a community, and a nation fighting for its future. The world may not pay much attention to Nauru, but the fate of this tiny island in the vast Pacific has much to teach us all. For centuries, this isolation shaped a unique culture, a society living in harmony with the sea, and the thin layer of soil that supported coconut palms and pandanus trees. The people, organized into 12 distinct tribes, lived a traditional Pacific Islander life. They were skilled navigators and fishers, their lives dictated by the rhythm of the tides and the seasons. This was a self-sufficient world, a fragile paradise that held a hidden treasure, a resource that would change its destiny forever. To get a sense of its isolation, consider its neighbors. The closest landmass is Banaba Island in Kiribati, about 186 miles to the east. Major transport hubs like Fiji and Hawaii are thousands of miles and several plane rides away.